Have you ever sat down to a meal, looked at your plate, and wondered, is this actually helping me or slowly making me feel worse? Maybe you've noticed that after certain meals, your energy crashes. You feel more bloated, tired, or foggy than you used to. And yet, the foods you're eating seem so harmless, even familiar. They've been on your table for decades. But here's the truth many don't talk about. After 70, your body changes, and what once worked for you may now be quietly working against you. Now, don't worry. This isn't about giving up everything you love or switching to some extreme diet. It's about small, smart choices that can protect your heart, your brain, and your overall health. It's about knowing which foods are secretly doing more harm than good and replacing them with better options that still satisfy. Let's take a moment to think about how amazing the body really is. After all, it's carried you through years of laughter, family memories, hard work, and life's ups and downs. You deserve to feel light, strong, and sharp, not weighed down by foods that make you sluggish or uncomfortable. That's why today, we're going to talk about 5 everyday foods that can secretly harm your body after 70. And once you understand what they do and what to eat instead, you'll feel more in control of your health than ever before. Let's start with the first one. You might want to sit down for this because it's something that's probably in your kitchen right now and in millions of homes around the world. I'm talking about white bread. Yes, that soft, fluffy slice you've probably been eating for most of your life. Now, there's a reason it's so popular. It's easy, affordable, and it pairs with everything from jam to soup. But here's what most people don't realize. White bread is made from refined flour, which means it's been stripped of most of its fiber and nutrients. So when you eat it, your blood sugar rises quickly and then crashes. Over time, this roller coaster effect can lead to fatigue, weight gain, and even a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Not to mention, the lack of fiber doesn't do your digestion any favors. Now, this doesn't mean you have to swear off bread forever. Try switching to whole grain or sprouted grain bread. These versions keep your energy more stable, help you feel full longer, and support healthy digestion, something especially important as we age. Now, let's move on to something a little sneakier, something that often hides behind the label healthy. I'm talking about fruit-flavored yogurts. Yes, even the ones that say low fat or light on the packaging. These little cups may seem like a smart choice, but they're often packed with added sugars. And those sugars? They're not doing your body any favors. After 70, your metabolism slows down. Your body can't process sugar the way it used to. Excess sugar can lead to inflammation, increase the risk of heart disease, and even affect your memory. You may have noticed that foggy feeling after a sweet snack. That's your brain reacting to the sugar spike. Instead of flavored yogurts, go for plain Greek yogurt and add your own fruit or a drizzle of honey. That way, you control the sugar and still enjoy the creamy, satisfying taste. Speaking of sugar, let's talk about one more silent troublemaker: packaged breakfast cereals. Now, I know some of them are labeled as heart healthy or fortified with vitamins, but many are really just candy in disguise. Bright colors, sweet flavors, and those cheerful cartoon mascots. They're designed to appeal to kids, but many adults find them convenient too. The problem is, even adult cereals often contain more sugar than a dessert. Starting your day with a sugary cereal sets you up for an energy crash mid-morning. It can also lead to weight gain around the belly area, one of the most dangerous places to carry extra fat after 70, as it's linked to higher risks of heart disease and diabetes. A better choice? Try oatmeal, unsweetened muesli, or chia pudding. Add cinnamon, nuts, or fresh berries for flavor without the sugar spike. You might be wondering, why is this all so important after 70? Well, your body becomes more sensitive to what you eat. Your muscle mass decreases, your bones need more care, and your immune system doesn't respond the way it used to. Every food you choose either fuels your body or weighs it down. And once you begin swapping out these hidden troublemakers, you'll be amazed at how much lighter, clearer, and more energized you feel. Now that we've touched on a few of these silent saboteurs in your diet, let's take a deeper look at another common food that may surprise you. Another common food that may surprise you. Processed meats. Think about deli slices, bacon, sausages, even that harmless ham sandwich you've been eating for years. These meats are convenient, tasty, and often marketed as protein-rich. But behind the convenience is something your body may be struggling to handle more than it did in your younger days. Most processed meats are preserved with nitrates and nitrites, chemical compounds that help keep them looking fresh and extend their shelf life. The problem? Studies have linked these preservatives to inflammation and an increased risk of certain cancers, especially in the digestive tract. And the high sodium content? That can quietly raise your blood pressure, putting more strain on your heart and kidneys. You might be thinking, well, I only eat a little bit here and there, and that's fair. But over time, even small amounts can build up effects in the body, especially after 70, when your natural detox systems slow down. Instead, try roasted chicken breast, wild-caught salmon, or plant-based protein options like lentils or beans. They're just as filling and much kinder to your health. And while we're on the topic of salt, let's talk about another everyday food that might be doing more harm than good. Canned soups. Now, soup is often thought of as comfort food, especially when you're feeling a little under the weather or want something easy and warm. But those canned versions, many of them are loaded with sodium. Just one bowl can contain your entire day's worth of salt, or even more. Excess sodium is one of the biggest culprits behind high blood pressure, which becomes a bigger concern the older we get. And here's the tricky part. It doesn't always show up in obvious ways. You might not feel thirsty or bloated, but the extra salt still puts pressure on your arteries and your heart. If you love soup, and who doesn't, try making your own at home. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just some fresh veggies, a good protein, and herbs for flavor. You'll be surprised how much more satisfying it is when you know exactly what's in it. Food isn't just fuel. It's tied to our memories, our culture, our emotions. Maybe your Sunday mornings always started with toast and jam, or you remember sitting down with your grandkids over bowls of cereal. Changing your diet doesn't mean giving up those moments. It means making new ones that support your body so you can keep creating memories with the people you love. Here's the beautiful thing. Our bodies are always trying to heal, to balance, to adapt. And even after 70, those small changes you make can lead to big results. You might notice your energy comes back. You sleep a little better. Your digestion feels smoother. You walk with a little more ease. All from taking a closer look at the foods you've been eating without even thinking twice. Now, I want to pause for a second and remind you, this isn't about being perfect. It's not about following some strict rule book or giving up everything you enjoy. It's about being more aware, more mindful, because when you give your body what it truly needs, it responds with strength, clarity, and resilience. We've talked about white bread, sugary yogurts, processed cereals, processed meats, and sodium-packed soups. These are all common everyday foods, but that's what makes them so sneaky. They become part of our routines, our habits. But your health is worth taking a closer look. And once you begin noticing how these foods make you feel, you'll start naturally reaching for better choices. As we continue this conversation, there's one more food we need to talk about. It's perhaps the most deceptive of all. Not because it's obviously unhealthy, but because it wears a clever disguise that makes it look healthy, even natural. But once you understand what's really going on, you might think twice before putting it on your plate again. I'm talking about margarine and certain low-fat spreads. For decades, margarine was advertised as the heart-healthy alternative to butter. You probably remember all those commercials talking about how butter was bad and margarine was the new smart choice. And for a while, that message stuck. Many people over 70 grew up with margarine in the fridge instead of butter on the table. But here's what we now know. Many margarines, especially the older formulations, contain trans fats. Even if the label says 0 grams trans fat, it may still contain up to half a gram per serving. These fats are artificial and have been strongly linked to inflammation, heart disease, and memory issues. The older we get, the more our bodies struggle to manage chronic inflammation, and that's exactly what trans fats fuel. Even newer versions of margarine that claim to be heart healthy often contain a mix of heavily processed vegetable oils. These oils go through high heat and chemical extraction, which alters their structure. Once inside the body, they may contribute to oxidative stress, a process that damages your cells over time. So, what can you do instead? Consider healthier, natural fats in moderation. A little real butter from grass-fed cows is actually fine for many people. Even better are whole food fats like avocado, olive oil, and nuts. These support brain health, reduce inflammation, and help keep your cholesterol in check. They're not about restriction. They're about giving your body the tools it needs to thrive. I know change can feel overwhelming, especially when it comes to food. For many of us, these eating habits were formed over a lifetime. You may have eaten white bread, processed meats, or margarine for 40 or 50 years without thinking twice. But the beauty of the body is its ability to adapt, even after 70. Even small steps in the right direction can make a noticeable difference. Imagine this. You start the day with a bowl of steel-cut oats topped with berries and walnuts instead of sugary cereal. For lunch, you swap out a salty canned soup for a homemade vegetable broth with lentils and turmeric. In the evening, you enjoy grilled salmon with steamed greens and drizzle it with olive oil. These changes may sound simple, but they can help lower your blood pressure, improve digestion, boost your energy, and even support better memory. And you don't have to do it all at once. Start with one thing. Maybe it's cutting back on processed meats or choosing real yogurt instead of flavored ones. Every positive shift creates momentum, and soon you'll find your taste buds changing. Foods that once felt normal might begin to taste too salty, too sweet, or just too processed. That's your body waking up, and that's something to celebrate. This stage of life can be filled with incredible clarity, joy, and purpose. But that's easier to experience when you feel well physically. And food is one of the few things we can control daily that has such a direct impact on how we feel. You're not trying to chase youth. You're embracing health. You're choosing to fuel your body in ways that honor everything it's carried you through so far. So let's take a moment to reflect. You've spent years, decades, taking care of others, showing up for your family, working hard, and navigating life's ups and downs. Now, it's your turn. Your turn to nourish yourself, to prioritize your well-being, to move forward not just with knowledge, but with confidence that small changes can lead to big improvements. And I'd love to hear from you. What changes have you noticed in your diet recently? What's one food you've swapped out that made a difference in how you feel? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, and your story might just inspire someone else. If this video helped you, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more content that supports your health, energy, and joy at every age. We've got more simple, practical tips coming your way, and I want you to be part of the journey. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel clear-headed. You deserve to enjoy every day with energy and peace. And with just a little awareness, you can make food your greatest ally in this chapter of life. Here's to living your best, most vibrant life at any age. You've got this.